Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Ambita Dianingrum SSM Hum. Saya adalah dosen S1 Sastra Inggris Fakultas Ilmu Budaya Universitas Jenderal Sudirman. Mata kuliah pokok saya adalah Genre-based Translation, dan dalam video pembelajaran ini saya akan menyampaikan materi terkait Genre-based Translation sebagai pernyataan diri dosen dalam unjuk kerja Tridharma Perguruan Tinggi bidang pengajaran. Genre-based translation membekali mahasiswa dengan pengetahuan dan latihan menerjemahkan teks dari berbagai genre, baik non-fiksi maupun fiksi. Dalam teks penerjemahan non-fiksi yang akan dipelajari meliputi berita, abstrak, naskah pidato, dan teks hukum. Sedangkan penerjemahan teks fiksi meliputi prosa, puisi, naskah drama, lirik lagu, dan film. Capaian pembelajaran mata kuliah Genre-based Translation adalah mahasiswa diharapkan memahami dan menjelaskan teknik penerjemahan serta penggunaannya. Mahasiswa diharapkan dapat memahami dan menjelaskan karakteristik penerjemahan teks baik fiksi maupun non-fiksi. Mahasiswa mampu menerjemahkan berbagai jenis teks baik fiksi maupun non-fiksi dari bahasa Inggris ke Indonesia maupun sebaliknya secara akurat, berterima, dan terbaca, serta sesuai dengan kaidah-kaidah penerjemahan. Mahasiswa diharapkan mampu menilai hasil terjemahan sesuai dengan kaidah penerjemahan yang baik, yaitu akurat, berterima, dan terbaca. Materi pembelajaran dalam Genre-based Translation meliputi yang pertama, perbedaan genre fiksi dan non-fiksi, penerjemahan teks berita, penerjemahan teks prosa, penerjemahan teks drama, penerjemahan teks puisi, penerjemahan teks lagu, teks pidato, teks brosur, teks kontrak, teks abstrak, lelucon, prosedur, serta teks film. Sebagai evaluasi belajar mahasiswa, perkuliahan dilaksanakan dengan cara tatap muka di kelas dan pemberian tugas tematik. Mahasiswa diwajibkan untuk mengikuti kegiatan perkuliahan selama 14 kali tatap muka ditambah dengan UTS dan UAS menjadi 16 pertemuan. Setiap mahasiswa berhak mengikuti UAS jika presentasi kehadiran dalam perkuliahan tatap muka tidak kurang dari 70%. Unsur penilaian meliputi project based learning 50% di akhir sebelum UAS, tugas terstruktur 10% di akhir sebelum UTS, ujian tengah semester 20% dan ujian akhir semester 20%. Berikut adalah referensi yang digunakan dalam mata kuliah Genre-based Translation. Demikian perkenalan dari saya dan sekilas tentang mata kuliah Genre-based Translation. Selamat menikmati video pembelajaran ini. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, good morning everyone. How are you today? Have you had your breakfast? Alhamdulillah. Okay, so today we are going to discuss film translation. After last week we have discussed song translation. Yeah, today we are going to discuss this one, film translation. Have you ever watched film with the subtitle? Yes, of course, yeah. What are the films? Can you mention one of the films that you have watched? Harry Potter? Frozen? I like Frozen too. What else? How to Get Away with Mother. Ada Spider-Man juga ya. Okay, most films use subtitles. It means the film itself is translated into our language, our own language. Actually, in this modern era, we need film translation. Yeah. So film translation is actually adaptation. It's not purely translating, but adapting, because there are constraints in film like space and also times. Yeah. Okay, film translation is the process of adapting a film's dialogue and other textual elements from one language into another, and it includes, the first one is subtitling, the second one is dubbing, voice over, and closed captioning. Yeah. Okay, subtitling here refers to the text below the screen while dubbing. Have you ever watched film with dubbing? Yes. What are the films? SpongeBob. What else? Doraemon. Shin-chan. What else? Ninja Hattori. Yeah, I like Ninja Hattori. Okay, which one do you prefer, subtitling or dubbing? Why? It sounds natural. Okay, natural. Yeah, because when we see films with dubbing, it looks like Indian people. They use bahasa Indonesia. It's rather weird, right? And besides that, we don't get the cultural nuances, yeah, from dubbing. Yeah, but most children films use dubbing because it is easier for children. Okay, then voice over. Voice over, mostly voice over exists in like documentary films. Yeah, and then closed captioning. Where do you find closed captioning? YouTube, yeah. Mostly in YouTube, there's a feature called closed captioning. Okay, let's see the definition of each. Okay, subtitling means displaying translated text at the bottom of the screen to match the spoken dialogue, and only 2 lines allowed. Yeah, so it will be the greatest challenge for the translator to translate the dialogue while matching the timing, yeah, how the characters speak to each other, the timing and the space. Yeah, so it is challenging for the translator. And then dubbing means replacing the original dialogue with a recorded translation, and it is spoken by voice actors. The voice actors are called dubber. And then voice over, the original dialogue is heard at a reduced volume, yeah, while a translated version is spoken over it by a narrator. And then closed captioning means providing text that includes not only dialogue but sometimes other audio elements like sound effect, music cues, yeah, typically for hearing impaired. So sometimes you will find like the text clapping, yeah, or laughing or crying, yeah, on closed captioning. Subtitling involves translating spoken dialogue in a video into text that appears on the screen, and its process encompasses linguistic and non-linguistic elements to convey the full meaning and the context of the original language, of the original dialogue. The software now. Have you ever heard these types of softwares? Agisub, Subtitle Edit, Jabber. Yeah? Have you ever heard? Before you join the class, have you ever tried one of them? Yes, you have? Okay. Which one? Subtitle Edit. Great. Yeah. So now we are going to focus on the Subtitle Edit. Yeah. Agisub is one of the easiest softwares to use. Yeah, it's more simple. Yeah, but mostly vendors use Subtitle Edit. Yeah, because it's more complete in the future. We should know there are some elements to consider. There are linguistic and non-linguistic elements. Subtitling involves translating spoken dialogue in a video into the text that appears on the screen, and this process include linguistic and non-linguistic elements. Yeah. As we have to deal with text, so we have to consider the linguistic elements. First thing first, in translation process, the translator should consider the accuracy. Yeah, the first thing first, the translator must consider when he or she does his or her work in translating is the accuracy. He must or she must ensure that the spoken dialogue is accurately translated into the target language. And then cultural references. adapting cultural references to be understandable by the target audience. For example, perhaps in Indonesian film, there's terms in Javanese like mutih. Do you know mutih? Have you ever heard the term mutih? Yeah. Yeah, some of you have heard of it, but some others haven't. Yeah. Mutih here refers to a traditional practice, fasting. It's like fasting, but the person only consume food that is boiled, not cooked with fried oil, for example. Yeah. So when we found mutih on a film, then we have to translate it into English, for example. Unlike written text, of course we can explain longer than only fasting, right? Because the screen only allows 2 lines on the bottom of the screen, so we cannot explain what mutih is. It's different when maybe we translate a novel or some like fiction, yeah, stories. We can explain mutih here with several ways, like maybe adding additional information in the text, yeah, directly after mutih. Mutih means blah 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 blah, or we can put it on footnote, yeah, mutih, and then you put a footnote description of mutih itself. But of course we cannot do that on film translation. So we have to translate it in a more general term, which is fasting. Okay. Okay, and then the next one, idiomatic expression. When we find idiomatic expression, we should adapt it, of course, into the target text idiomatic expression as well. Like maybe you find it's raining cats and dogs. Of course, you cannot translate it literally into hujan turun kucing dan anjing. Yeah, it's not like that. But we have to translate it into our cultural expression. Like, okay, hujan turun lebat sekali. Yeah. And then register, maintaining the original tone and register of the dialogue. For example, ranger in military register. It is different to ranger in forestry. Yeah. Ranger in military register means prajurit komando, but in forestry it means ranger in forestry dalam konteks kehutanan. Do you know? Penjaga hutan. That's it. So they mean differently in different contexts. So we have to consider the context, yeah, where the word stands, yeah, in the context. That is register. Okay, the next is synchronous timing. We have to ensure that the subtitle match with the spoken dialogue. It is not too fast and also not too slow. Yeah. Subtitles appear precisely when a character starts and stops speaking to ensure viewers can follow along easily. You will learn about it later, yeah, in subtitle edit. Okay, and then non-linguistic elements, it includes visual synchronization, sound effect, and music. Visual synchronization means to match the dialogue with the visual on the screen. Yeah. Subtitles need to appear on screen in sync with the visual action to avoid distraction. If a character points to an object and names it, the subtitle should appear when the character is pointing, not after. Yeah. Not after the character do that. Sound effects and music convey non-verbal sounds that are important to the narrative. For example, this is especially in SDH subtitle. SDH, do you know? Subtitles for hard hearing, yeah, for deaf and hard hearing. Like you have to explain a sound which appear on the bill, door creaks, for example, or ominous music playing, or maybe the sound of babies laughing, for example. They can be used to indicate sounds, especially for STH. And then we'll give some guidelines, guideline for the subtitlers, and each vendors have different guidelines, of course. But okay, for example, like in a movie when the character off screen tidak terlihat di layar, when the character is speaking, the subtitle might be written in Italian. Jadi tulisan Italian. Or you do it, tapi karakternya tidak terlihat di screen, maka format teksnya menggunakan Italian. Begitu juga, for example, if there's a text of the name of place, for example, hospital, Elizabeth Hospital, for example, and then the text will appear on capital, italic capital, Rumah Sakit Elizabeth, for example. That's the text formatting. Every vendor has different guidelines for that. Okay, so this is the preview of subtitle edit. Have you done that? It's started. Yeah, you have it started on your laptop. So this is the preview. The first thing to do is you have a film. You can have the original version of the subtitle, but sometimes a vendor will not provide the English version, for example. If the source language is English version, sometimes they give it to you, so you don't have to think about the time code there, because they already have the position for the time coded. But sometimes a vendor does not provide you the original text. So you have to to make your time code yourself. To make the time code, you have to activate the waveform. This is the waveform. So the first thing is to activate the waveform here by clicking it, and then there will be waveforms here displayed here. So you open the film, open the original subtitle, and then you can start working. If they're already the English version, you only have to change the text here into Bahasa Indonesia. You don't have to pay attention to the time code sometimes, but of course we have different languages. Sometimes Bahasa Indonesia is longer than English, so we need extra space for Indonesian text. So we have to adjust the time. We have to adjust the duration. We can change it by moving the waveform here. So it can be longer or shorter, or you can move a little bit to the right or to the left to match the text with the visualization. Okay. So this is the time text guidelines, general requirements of time text guidelines. The first one, reading speed. For that program, it is usually 17 characters per second. But for children's program, only 13 characters per second. And then duration, minimum duration 1 second. For subtitle event. If there's less than 1 second, so the line will be highlighted red in text here. If you will see that if you see the text on subtitle edit is highlighted in red color, so there must be something wrong. Maybe the reading speed, or perhaps the duration. So you have to adjust it. And the maximum duration 7 seconds per subtitle event. And then character limit no more than 42 characters. It may be 42 or 43 or 40 something, but generally it's no more than 42 characters per line. Okay, and then line treatment. It is about line limit per subtitle event, no more than 2 lines. And then always keep the subtitle in one line unless it exceeds the character limit per line. So you have to adjust the characters limit terlebih. And then line breaks should ideally match the logical and grammatical break in dialogue. For example, there will be rules about how to separate subtitles by the punctuation mark or by the preposition, or how or when you should capitalize. Yeah. All of these rules are in guidelines provided by the vendor. So you have to follow the guidelines. And then positioning. The subtitle should be centered, justified, and placed at the bottom of the screen. But sometimes maybe you ever find subtitles up in the upper position of the screen because of some reasons. Yeah. If there is on-screen text, perhaps credits that appears in the lower third of the screen, subtitles should be moved to the top of the screen. So sometimes you need to move the subtitle to the top of the screen for some reasons. Yeah. And then timing. If there is a supplied English template, the timing for that should be followed. So if you get the original version, you should follow the timing, yeah, the time word. Maybe you have to adjust a little bit, yeah, for some reasons, but you mostly just follow the time word. Events may be merged or split if in time and out time are maintained. Yeah, sometimes you need to merge two subtitles or separate one subtitle into two events for some reasons. Yeah, and it is allowed. Yeah. Subtitles should be timed to the audio synchronization. And then about profanity. Do you think profanity is allowed in Indonesia? For example, maybe there's some terms that show like profanity, like cursing. They have many types of cursing. Yeah, like in Indonesia, maybe we are not allowed to do that, to show that on the screen, like maybe motherfucker something. Yeah. How should we change it into our own language, our own fashion? Do you think you should follow the profanity or should we reduce it? Reduce? Okay, to make it neutral. Yeah, to make it more neutral in bahasa Indonesia. Maybe you can say apa bahasa istilah umpatan dalam bahasa Indonesia yang netral. Sialan. What else? Brengsek. And then consistency. The vendor will provide a table, like formality table, yeah, to make sure that all subtitles are consistent. Jadi ada tabel istilah gitu. Apalagi kalau misalnya film itu adalah series, ya. There will be a table to make sure that all terms are consistent. Sometimes series will be done by more than 2 or 3 translators. Yeah, they have to to match the terms, yeah, to the table of formality here, so that the terms that they use is consistent, yeah, from seasons or from episodes to episodes. Okay, so any question?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, in the context of film translation, especially from like English to Arabic, as we know that Arabic is written from right to left, and from the guidelines that you have present, that it has to be the center of the screen and at the bottom of the screen. So what if the Arabic, the subtitle, how we
Okay.
can?
Okay, good question. So what I have presented here is the guideline for Indonesian subtitle. So it may be, of course it will be different to Arabic version. When the vendor gave the guidelines to the subtitler in Arabic version, of course it will be written from right to left, yeah, as the Arabic will be written from right to left, yeah. So it depends on the language version, the language pair. It is from English into Indonesia, so it will be written from left to right. But maybe if Indonesian into Arabic, it will be from right to left. Okay? Does it answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good. Who else?
For giving information about sound in the film, like what you explained before, like the sound of baby crying. If we need to write that, should we write it in capital, or is there any like requirement for writing those kind of information?
Yeah, okay, good question. Okay, it's about sound effect, right? If we deal with sound effect, the sound effect will be written in bracket, in capital. So it will be different to the dialogue which is spoken by the characters. Okay? Okay? Any question? Any more question?
Saya mau nanya soal karakter per second. Itu kan di Universal Guideline itu karakter per second 20 maksimum. Tapi kalau misalnya ketika kita subtitling sendiri, 20 tuh dikit banget. Apakah kita boleh adjust sesuai keinginan kita atau bagaimana? Makasih.
Okay, good question. Characters per second, right? It should be 20 in the guidelines, but sometimes the translator can adjust, yeah, based on what is it? The translator is the first viewer of the film, so the translator should feel comfortable when she or he watch the film. So maybe it can be more than 20, but it's still comfortable for the audience to watch the subtitle, to watch the films with the subtitle. So it will be allowed, Sarah. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's practice. Download the English version, subtitle with the time code. I have provided friends, episode 1, part 2, and you will be able to download it. And then open the subtitle edit and start to translate. Okay, but before this. Thank you for your participation today. We're going to see each other again next week, inshallah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice day.